Today I wanted to share some thoughts or share some insights about the challenges that customers face while choosing right PostgreSQL for their multi-cloud strategies. Now you would say, what is this right PostgreSQL? Isn't PostgreSQL the same thing? So let me explain to you what I mean by that. Especially in case of multi-cloud environment, when there are multiple cloud vendors are involved, you get PostgreSQL from these vendors, from these cloud vendors, and that creates more challenge. It almost creates a new variant of PostgreSQL, and you should be aware of it. So PostgreSQL, as brought out by the community, is the PostgreSQL, right? And then each of these vendors have taken it up, either added few things or have customized few things to suit their platforms. So you have today PostgreSQL from cloud vendors such as AWS, from Microsoft. Then you have enterprise versions from Enterprise DB, Crunchy Data, and so many other providers. So that makes your life difficult. And why? Because when you think about PostgreSQL, usually most of the time you will think, okay, PostgreSQL is same, I can use it from this vendor or that vendor. But what we have seen and the challenges that we have seen customers face is one PostgreSQL, when you let's say use it on AWS PostgreSQL or RDS, and when you want to really use it a community PostgreSQL, there are a lot of things that don't work seamlessly. Lot of things that really break when you think or when you take it for granted that they are same thing. When you want to move from one cloud vendor to another cloud vendor, it's not that your applications are going to connect with your database as it is, because you had PostgreSQL version of AWS versus PostgreSQL version of Microsoft versus PostgreSQL version of Enterprise DB, right? So these are the challenges that customers face, and you have to be really careful. How do you architect your applications? How do you really make use of database? What we found that what is most effective in such cases, in order to keep your PostgreSQL constant, your skill sets constant, your application testing to be seamless, the best way that we found and that we recommend to our customers is to use PostgreSQL community version, right, across all your cloud, all your platforms, whether you are using it on public cloud, whether you are using on your private cloud, whether you are using it on Kubernetes containerized version. So that way what happens is, at least you know you have a common version, at least you know there are any application related dependencies, there is a commonality. You don't have to worry about what is breaking for this Postgres version versus that Postgres version, right? So what we have found, most customers who are successful, who had less headache of using PostgreSQL on especially cloud platforms, are the ones who have taken PostgreSQL and use cloud as a infrastructure, as a platform, and deployed PostgreSQL over there. In order to make things easier, simpler, also now you have Kubernetes operators for PostgreSQL. So use it from the community operators, and that way you have the same PostgreSQL whether under Kubernetes as a Kubernetes operator, or simple community edition of the PostgreSQL, and deploy it across your platforms. This is one basic, most important precaution you have to take in order to make your PostgreSQL adoption successful. Today we are seeing customers are very rapidly adopting PostgreSQL. They are either replacing Oracle, they are stopping Oracle usage, right? And PostgreSQL has become very strategic choice of database. So in such environment, this has become imperative that you choose a right way of using PostgreSQL. Hope this helps you in your planning and makes your PostgreSQL adoption successful. We will come back with some more topics next time. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned.